All right, here we go. We are live. So I got a bunch of stuff queued up. You gave me a couple more recommendations before we went live, but I want to start with the at bats, Joey. And I realize I got to introduce you again because this will be a separate video. But for those who were living under a rock during the minor league season last year, this is Joey Wiemer of the Brewers. Joey, thank you again for spending a little bit of extra time here on the post podcast little walkthrough on some of your best at bats of the season.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, podcast was a ton of fun. We saved a lot of the intricacies of your swing and ABs for this, and this at bat particularly, I really want to talk about with you because we talked about on the pod like your approach. You're a lot of simplify it, see ball, hit ball, and try not to overthink it too much. But you've picked certain spots, and we'll talk about that to guess in certain situations where you feel really confident. But I'm just amazed by this AB, and I just want you to kind of take us through it. So this is a fastball inside, and that first pitch, I mean, he misses arm side, right? So I mean, that's fine. You take the first pitch, but now when the next pitch after a fastball that runs arm side, I believe the next one here is a slider that backs up on him, right? So like,
Yeah,
that pitch is just one of those accidentally worked pitches, right? Like that, there's nothing you can really do about that.
those are the best pitches in baseball.
The backup slider,
Absolutely.
you
Spin
can't
like a
even do it
slider,
intentionally. You can't
drops
do
in
it.
like a changeup. Yeah.
Yeah. So at that point, you're like, whatever, right? Like he backed it up on it or backed up on him, threw it for a strike. I'm 1-1. What are you thinking here?
Um, I think I had my approach against Criswell. I've hit against him before. He completely took my lunch in college. So I was really trying to hit sliders against him.
So you got the backup one. That's not really, that doesn't count. You get the fastball, and that was close to being out of the box, but you're in the box. We give that to you. So now it's 1-2, right? You were on the
Yeah.
fastball. You know, that was only you just missed it, right? There's nothing else to it than that, right?
Yeah, we'll say that. But yeah, with him, I was really thinking I was going to get a slider in the zone. So I think this is it right here. I might be wrong.
So it's 1-2. That was an insane take.
Uh, that's his change up there. Yeah, I can never
So,
tell rewatching video.
yeah, so that looked like a changeup. You're
Yeah,
sitting slider. You're looking for something in that range.
yeah,
How did you lay off this thing? I mean, that starts like it looks like it's going to finish belt high on the outer half, drops out of the zone, and you shut that thing down.
yeah. That I don't know. It's just being reactionary. But you can't completely sit something with two strikes. But kind of just back in my head, I'm thinking he's probably gonna try to go to a slider here.
So now
Just
you're
based on history with him.
so now you're 2-2. You're thinking slider again.
Uh, Thinking it, not selling out to it. You can't get your doors blown off. Two strikes to the fastball. But pretty suspect on a slider still.
So that's what kind of what we talked about on the podcast briefly, but how do you find the balance of being prepared for two pitches without getting caught in between? Right. So you're geared up for a fastball, back of your head's a slider. How do you not let that get you caught in between the two pitches?
I think it's just trying to pick it up early, um, knowing that if you get that fastball, it's kind of just reactionary. Like I'm not gonna most of the time not gonna hammer it as far as if I was dead red 2-0. But being at least early enough to get to that fastball, but at the same time staying back for the off speed.
So here's the 2-2 pitch. And I believe it wasn't the slider.
Yep, and that's there. Probably just if I'm 2-0 there on that fastball, I probably hit it.
Yeah.
But just you're fighting, you're competing with two strikes.
If that's a slider, it's probably in the seats.
Maybe not in the seats, but hopefully hit a little better than that.
So now you just saw that fastball. Are you thinking he's going back to the slider here?
Yeah, this I'm again not selling out, but pretty strong hunch of the slider with how many fastballs he's already thrown me this at bat.
There's a slider. You stay back long enough, and you rip that thing pull side for a base hit. So like that's the kind of at bat there where it's again I look at that and I'm like this guy's going to translate at the next level, right? I mean, like those are the things that I think are the most difficult as a hitter, right? I mean, learning from the previous at bats, being able to make those adjustments. And when you foul off a fastball like that, where you were on it, I mean, like he probably knew Criswell did there. I mean, that fastball had a lot of the middle, but like you said, you were just kind of ready for a slider, but prepared enough to foul off a fastball. But
Yeah.
after seeing that swing, I wouldn't want to go back to the fastball there. So
Yeah.
how much of that
And
do you know?
I think the aggressiveness of the swing helps there. Like, I looked way more on time than I probably was mentally there.
That's what I'm thinking, because like you see that swing, you're like, I don't know if I want to throw that again. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's another AB, this time against a lefty. And this one stood out to me just because it's more of a softer throwing lefty that, again, you have a unique count here because he starts with a change. And I always think about that. Righty facing a lefty, you know you're probably going to get a steady diet of that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. A whole lot of off speed, a lot of arm side off speed.
So you get the arm side change up, first pitch, take it for a strike. You're not going to do anything with that anyways. What are you thinking now, 1-0?
Same thing, same approach, especially with a softer throwing lefty. Like, I'm going to do nothing but roll over if I get myself out front. So kind of just staying back and trying to stay the other way. And that was a big adjustment for me is like, I used to, when I get a softer lefty, just try and hit a ball 450 pull side. And, now softer lefties, it's just, be a hitter, stay true to that backside, which I think, if I remember this at bat correctly, I do go backside. Yeah. I might be wrong, though. Probably wrong.
I think you go the other way. So that I believe was a double up on the change. So now you're 2-0. What do you think? Maybe he's going to the fastball now. Like, can you sit 2-0 dead red heater? Or no, it's not 2-0. It's 1-1. Excuse me.
1-1. Yeah. Yeah, and his fastball, I remember this at bat pretty good. His fastball and changeup look pretty similar coming out. So really, I'm not sitting. I keep saying sitting, but like not guessing. I'm thinking he's going to go more arm side to me a lot. So my eyes are pretty set out this whole AB. So
and
it's not sitting pitches, it's more zones. So like I'm trying to get something outside and go the other way with it.
And you have that approach, right? Looking outside, go the other way with it. And with the bat speed that you have and how quickly you can turn on the baseball, do you have confidence that if he does tug it inside at 91, 92, you can react in there?
Yeah, and that's just part of being a hitter is not being afraid to get jammed. Anything inside really is just, reactionary.
So let's see. So here's the next pitch. That was the fastball. That would have been reaction zone if it was a
that would have been that was in.
And then that was a fastball, or that was a changeup, I believe, again.
I think that was a changeup, yeah.
So the reason why I picked this swing was it was 3-1 and he missed inside with the fastball. And also super, super funny just how relaxed you are right
yeah,
there.
Great stop there.
with your lightning rod of a bat. Is that just you just trying to get your hands loose and just feel nice and like?
Yeah, and I actually didn't even realize it because I'm not I don't watch a ton of my swings. But
Sorry.
in the fall in the fall league, I didn't realize how. I mean, like I tipped in the season, but not this much.
Yeah, well, it worked. That's the thing. So do you think that's just a natural thing that you're doing just out of natural comfort? Like, are you not trying to just calm that down at all if it's working? Like that's
that's just being loose for me. And I like seeing that, honestly. I just mixed up, obviously, and honestly, regardless. No, I like seeing that because in my head that means I'm comfortable there. So just being relaxed in the box and competing.
So when you have that softer pitch away, I know you were talking zones there, but how are you able to let a changeup travel like that when you know that, like you said, the fastball and the changeup look similar? If that was a heater, would you have fouled that off? Because I mean, you let that changeup travel and you hit it pretty deep.
Yeah, I feel like if it was a fastball, I'd been on time. Just being where my eyes are, seeing a pitch in that zone, regardless of if it's a fastball, slider, or changeup. I feel like I would have got to it pretty well.
Let's go to a few of the really exciting home runs too, because we got a couple. Let me make sure I'm not doing the same clip again. Which one is this? This is a new one. We haven't seen this one yet. Oh, this was the backside homer.
Yeah.
So this is less of the intricacies of at-bats, right? Because we're just going now. These are just some of the bombs you hit. I want to get one a little bit more into the nitty-gritty of your swing. And then two, I want you to talk about pulverizing these pitches and what it felt like and just however you can give us a little glimpse into what it feels like to be able to do this, because almost everybody watching this is not capable of doing it, myself included. But this pitch right here, and this is where we're talking about some of the guys in the fall league. They're like relievers who didn't get a lot of run, and they're just going in 2-inning spurts and just throwing gas. This seems like a guy that just is hard to pick up and comes at you kind of quick.
Yeah, it was pretty jumpy, and to be completely honest, most of the time I've in my life hit a home run, like you kind of know it coming in, like you see the pitch, you get a little wide-eyed. I promise you, I thought I was following this ball straight back. Like I felt late on it.
No
So
way.
it was kind of just like I hit it and I was like, oh, yeah, I kind of got that.
Why'd you feel late on it?
I've watched this video and like it doesn't look like it at all, but I promise you, in my head, as the pitch was coming in, I thought I was either swinging through it or following it backwards. I don't know. I felt late.
I mean, look how high that pitch is.
Yeah, it's up, and that's one of the we talked about staying off that pitch, that high fastball. So I don't know. This one might just be I'll call it a lucky swing, but we got to it, I guess.
I'm not giving you that cop out lucky swing answer. What allowed you to be able to get to this one versus, like we were talking about, this gave you some fits earlier in the year, and this is a that you learned to lay off of a bit more.
Yeah.
So you decided to pull the trigger at this one, and it was clearly the right decision. It left the yard. What did you do right to be able to get to this one?
I think I was just I a lot of my newer swing has just been like more straight hands to the ball. And I feel like here, all I try to do is get the barrel to the ball as fast as possible instead of like trying to lift it or trying to muscle up on it. I think it's just a quick flick and, got the barrel to it.
And do you time that move up high with your leg kick? Like, is that all movement?
Yeah, it's pretty in sync. Like my hands will go like a tick before my leg starts.
And then you get the toe tap. Well, what does that toe tap achieve for you? Is that to try to keep your weight back? What is that? Because I know you used to be a leg kick guy, making the pivot to the toe tap here before starting your stride. Was that to keep you back, or was that just a natural timing mechanism?
I think it's just a natural timing mechanism. And like, this is going to sound crazy, but I cannot be like too static when I hit because I don't know. I just feel like I get slow. I'm not. I like to. I amp myself up a little bit. I like to move. Like it. I don't know. It kind of
do
just
the
like
same thing on
out.
The bases.
Yeah. No. I hate watching myself play because I look like a maniac. But yeah, that's how it works mentally for me, I guess.
Yeah, I think the best description, and I think most people love watching you play for that exact reason. It's like you play like your hair is on fire, which is great. I mean, that's what you want to see. And yeah, if you think Joey moves a lot in the batter's box, you should see him on the base paths. The first time, I'll never forget, man, the first time I saw you on the base paths was in the Cape. I was calling,
especially on second.
I was calling games for Katuitt. You're right in front of our line of view because we're behind home plate. And I'm just watching you dance back and forth. And I get it though, right? I mean, that helps you stay on your toes, right? Like that helps you feel like you can go. But do you ever have a fear that a pitcher is going to pick you off at like the right time? Like right when you're in the air or whatever and spin and get you?
I feel like even though I might be like moving and bouncing around, I feel like I'm in a pretty athletic position that, at all times to, be able to move whatever direction I need to go.
So we have 2 walk-offs here. I want to play it first, like with the home run call, and then you can walk us through it just because I feel like you don't get to hear the home run calls too much. You're on the field, and this is pretty cool. Which one was
Greg's awesome with that too. Oh no, my AirPod just died. Can you still hear me through here?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're all good.
Oh, I might have just got low battery.
Okay, Perfect. Well, we got a few more minutes here then. This was the first walk-off. Here's the call, and then I want you to talk about it.
Here's the first one to Wiemer. And he swings and hits a high fly. Deep to left. Good night from Zebulon. It's a walk-off home run for Wiemer. Joey Wiemer jumps to the plate. The Microbrews win. And his team is there to...
The what? Wait.
Yeah, we were the Microbrews that night. That was our, like one of our little promotions.
Oh gosh, that's great. The Microbrews. Yeah. So, first of all, there's no better feeling on planet Earth, right?
No, yeah, that's number one.
That's number one. Second of all, you hit the crap out of this thing.
Here's the first one to Wiemer, and he's
so that one almost seemed like a vertical breaking ball that backed up a little bit, right?
Yeah, and that's what I mean. We've talked hitting for probably an hour now, and I tell you, I don't guess, but this one, we talked about it a little bit already. I was fully sold out. We had our scouting report. He likes to go, big loopy curveball early, kind of just to get me over. And I mean, even if you watch this video, like if I would have reacted to this pitch, I feel like I wouldn't have swung. Like the catcher is picking it like it's about to bounce.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was just a culmination of just sitting all over it and then seeing it and just being already cheated to it. And that was, like I said, genuinely the cleanest I've ever hit a baseball, I think.
Yeah, because it's just like it breaks right into your barrel, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, look at your body. It looks like you have every ounce of your strength from head to toe. Right? Look at that.
Yeah, we were sitting on that one.
And then you do it again.
Right by Zamora.
And again, you were sitting curveball here. We'll go with the call again because great call.
2-2. Here's the pitch to Wiemer, and he swings and hits a high soaring drive to left. Did he do it again? It's way back, and it is gone! Joey Wiemer does it again! He walks it off for the Mudcats in the 12th. 6 for the final.
How many days later was this?
Are you kidding me?
It was 2 days after.
Dude, you got to spread them out a little bit more.
But no, that one that was another just reactionary swing because it was 2-2. I think that was probably like the 7th or 8th pitch of the at bat, to be honest.
Do you remember how many outs there were? I can't see it on the screen from what I'm looking at.
I think there's one. No, there's none. No, none. There was definitely none because that was actually we started with a runner on second and Freddie hit a single to right, so it was first and third.
Also, he had a great year.
Freddie's phenomenal. He very, very good fielder and very, very good hitter.
Another guy that I just don't think gets enough attention. I mean, he was fantastic last year.
Yeah, I feel like our whole farm doesn't get enough attention.
I agree. Trust
me.
Little
slept on.
Oh, very, very. And just a few more minutes before we wrap up here. But with first and third, you obviously hit the crap out of this. But were you thinking more just lift and tie this ball game up? Or were you thinking like, let's send him home? I just did this 2 days ago.
Yeah, no, I'll be honest. It's a bad mindset to have, but I was trying to crush another ball here just because it was the same guy. So the confidence was high.
Yeah, but generally speaking, you're looking to just get something out.
Yeah, usually you're just trying to get the job done, not trying to do too much. But I was probably trying to do too much here.
Well,
and it just happened to work.
Yeah, you did all of it. So you can't do too much. You did everything here, and you won the game. We'll play it one more time, and that's just a center cut heater, right? I mean,
yeah, that's just a mistake too. I think he was trying to elevate, and he just left it a little.
Get it in on the hands. Get it in on the hands or something. How often do guys try to bust you in? Is that something that they?
A lot, yeah, and that's just. I think it's my hand movement. I stand pretty close to the plate too, but I don't know. I'm comfortable with it, so it's fine by me.
What's really unique about your swing too is how that back leg is like bowed a little bit already.
Yeah.
People call that like pre-stacking on your back hip a little bit. So a lot of people have a move to get there. I mean, you still get in there a little bit more, but that little bent knee, does that kind of help you just start with your weight back there? Is that almost a reminder before you start to keep it on your
Yeah,
back?
absolutely. And that right there is a lot of what, caused the back half of this season. If you look at my earlier videos in the year, like I'm standing straight up pretty much. And then when I started bowing that back knee and starting lower is when, I started to hit really well.
I feel like people don't talk about how important the back hip is enough, and to just hit off of that back hip or that backside. I mean, you look at like Barry Bonds, some of the other guys, some of the best hitters that have ever done it. They're really hitting off of that backside. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I like that a lot. And again, I know I've talked about how much I don't think when I hit, but having that preset weight back was really big for me.
Totally. I want to make sure we didn't miss one. We got that one already. I think we got them all. Yeah, that's all of them. I'll show the backside one more time for good measure. But again, I have so much fun watching you hit because it's so unique, but it works. And the last thing I'll ask you though is, what would you recommend to kids that might stumble upon this video on YouTube that are always just trying to get some insight on how pros hit, right? And like we talked about it on the podcast about how it's not cookie cut. You have all these YouTube hitting coaches, you have all these Twitter hitting coaches, whatever it is. Not all of them are wrong, but there's a lot of like my way or the highway, and I think we've realized hitting is not cookie cut. However, there are a lot of the same things that you want to achieve as a hitter. Are there any like non-negotiables that you think, like we talk about the back hip, some guys might be able to get away with it, but like, are there certain things that you think are pretty universal that hitters should focus on? But beyond that, what would your advice be to hitters that, might be a little bit unorthodox, but they're making it work in finding the balance of, getting better, making the improvements that you need to make, but also not putting yourself in a situation where you're just trying to adapt to something that your body might not be built to do and falling into the cookie cut type of thing?
Yeah, my only thing that I think should be universal is get out of your own head. Stop thinking, who cares who's pitching? Get in the box and do what you do. It doesn't matter if it's 85 or 95. You got to hit the ball. You got to make something happen. You can have the best thing in the world. If you're telling yourself this guy's too good, when you get in the box, you're already out. Like, just go compete.
That's the best advice I think you can give any kids out there. I mean, I remember when we were in high school, it's like, oh, this guy's throwing. He's a 9.5 on perfect game or whatever.
Like
it's crazy. But Joey, I know your AirPods are dying right now. So if you can hear me, thank you so much, man, for taking the time to do this, brother. And if you can't sign off because the AirPods died, we can do a wave. And oh no, I hear you.
I lost you. Can you hear me again?
Yeah. I was ready to do a sign off with you just sign languaging saying goodbye. But I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time for the podcast episode. So for those who may have missed the podcast episode, we recorded a 30-minute episode talking about everything before this that you can check out on the Call Up. The link will be below, but subscribe to the Call Up podcast on all platforms. And Joey, thanks so much for taking the time to talk hitting in what is, one of the more unique and fun approaches I've seen to the game. And you're a blast to watch. I know Brewers fans are going to come to love you very soon if they don't already. And I can't wait to see what you're going to do through the upper levels next year, man.
All right. I appreciate you having me.